What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
You are now tapped in with your girl, Miss Unique, on the Unique Experience Podcast, the place where broken crayons still color.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Unique Experience, the place where broken crayons still color. I am your host, Miss Unique, and today, y'all, we are featuring a new artist, a very special guest, my son, with the alias of Little Varri. Little Varri, did I say that right?
That little Varri.
Lil Varri. Okay. Lil Varri. So I'm happy to have this one. This podcast is very, very dear to me, you guys. So we're going to be diving into his life. We're gonna talk about his mother to son relationship and his new song, Mama, which is a tribute to me. So let's get started. Okay, so let's what's up, Javari?
What's up, mama?
How you doing?
Good.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So listen, so this is the Unfiltered, okay, and I'm excited about it. So um because I'm your mom, it don't mean nothing, you know. Well, it means something, but you
I
know,
would hope so.
don't hold out nothing that you gotta say, you know. This is a platform where it's a non-judgmental platform and you're able to be authentically you yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna start off by asking Lil Varri to share little things about himself, like where he grew up and what are some of his earliest memories.
I grew up here in Clarksdale, Mississippi. My earliest memory. What do you mean by that?
Like, just talk about who Lil Varri is. Like, who we talking to? Redeem yourself.
Lil Varri is a person that I created based on childhood and growing up. Lil Varri indicates the fact that when I was young, I always was being put down in a way, but by certain people that I never expect to. So when I created Lil Varri, it was alter ego for myself. It was somebody that I could speak through without nobody knowing actually who I was until I made it public.
Okay, cool. All right. Um, can you tell us about a time when you felt really proud of something you achieved coming up as a kid?
Coming up as a kid, something that I'm really proud of that I achieved was I was proud for this, and it was when I preached my first sermon at Bradley Temple.
Okay, how was that experience for you?
It was great. I enjoyed it. I prayed for it and I never thought it would come true, but it happened out the blue. So I felt blessed with it when I touched a lot of people.
Okay. When you were younger, I can remember where when you was younger, you was coming up and people would ask, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, and it was so weird that the response to them was weird. Let me say that. Of what your response was to that answer. What was your response? Tell the people what your response was when they asked you, what did you want to be when you grow up?
When I was young, my response to people was, I want to be a minister, a pastor. I just want to be in the pulpit.
Okay. So has life gave you adversities where you've done or did things that you knew or that wasn't right or that changed your mind, or like what were the adversities of life that took place? Tell us some of those things. Like um as far as like what changed, what will give you a different perspective from time to time to like, oh, I don't want to do this no more. I'm young. I want to go have fun first and then this and what, like tell me about some of those things.
I would say it was judgment that made me want to change from being a pastor. But I realized coming up that you don't have to people please. You can do things yourself. The Bible do say human nature is to sin, so everybody falls short. Everybody gonna sin. So even with me wanting to be a pastor, it doesn't restrict me from doing my music.
All right. Okay, and tell the people how old you are.
I'm 17 years old. I'll be 18 in April.
Okay, you can almost tell my age, but it's okay. It's all right. Okay. So, who were your biggest influences growing up? And how did they shape you into who you are today?
My biggest influences were you, Lil Wayne, that's my partner right there, Lil Wayne, and Money. I know I had people in my life that tried to help, but I feel like I went about doing it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with you helped me to a certain extent to where I'm. You made me realize that in life I'm gonna have to have discipline. I'm gonna have people come to me with corrective criticism, and I just got a lot of authority.
Okay, so that's one of your weak points.
Yep.
Okay, that segment went by really fast. Slow it down. Slow it down. Okay, so let's talk about your music journey and inspiration. Okay, so we're gonna ask questions like, let's get into this one. When did you first start getting into music, Varri?
I've been in music ever since I was like 10, 11. And I wrote my first song when I was 11 due to heartbreak from a girl.
Y'all in these heartbreak. Let me tell y'all. All right. Okay, I have 6 kids, right? And he's number 4 of the 6. And it's amazing that his birthday is 4/20. Okay. So they have the kids in this generation have more heartbreak and sad stories than a little bit. When they break up with somebody, the whole life change. It's crazy that they just be like the world has ended. You hear me? And I witnessed his little girlfriend must have said something, baby, and he was boo hollering like real bad about it. He didn't want to eat, he couldn't think, he couldn't do nothing. He couldn't even function right. So yeah, tell us about. You can finish. Oh, sorry. Go finish. Oh, there.
No,
Yeah.
what you just said, I say it's tough on us coming up as Gen Z, like they want to call us, because while we in Gen Z, we feel like the growing up, everybody, some of us, we feel like there wasn't enough love to go around for us coming up. And so when we get in a relationship, we automatically expect our spouse to love us correctly and without us taking the time to figure out if they've been hurt, how they really love. It's a lot of different things come with it. And with my heartbreak story, yeah, this it ain't playing.
Like a lot of us, y'all know, a lot of us wasn't brought up on. We was brought up on survival, right? Due to the decisions that parents make, kind of trickles down to the kids, right? Sometimes we're in situationships where the mate want all the attention, right? And being the person that find a mate and they're not understanding that you come with a whole package, they try to take away that time from the children, right? So part of that I have to be accountable for, because not only did I not feel like I didn't love y'all properly, but I did what I knew how to do with what I had. Um, some people can't show you anything if they wasn't introduced to it. You see what I'm saying? So we weren't brought up on love. I didn't know what love was. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's what made it different. Being a parent of six that didn't feel love from her parent. So it could be like a generational thing where your parents can only teach you what they know. So how could they teach you something that they don't know? They never been around love. You know, nobody ever just sat around the table and did things together as a family. It was always negative, energy and stuff. So maybe that's part of why the love situation is different, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, who are some of your favorite artists? How have they inspired you?
My number one favorite artist is Kivo Money because he inspired me due to the fact he tell a story. I know most people might say it's violent. I feel like it's not violent because he telling what he been through, and he also showed me that no matter what people say against him, it's still room for improvement. It's still room to encourage others through your story. So, like I always follow up with him. My second favorite artist is Rod Wave. Now that's my emotional support buddy right there. Uh, and
Okay.
my top dog is Lil Wayne.
Okay.
He been my rock and roll ever since I was knee high.
Me got to a duck gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all, he got a old soul. He swear he been here before. He swear he's somebody uncle. Okay. And y'all talking about somebody that could do line dances, is very talented. That can sing, do line dances. He play instruments. So he's a jack of all trades. It's just that, some people go through life and they make some wrong decisions. Not that they wasn't trained up, but once you get introduced to different things, you want to go out and find who you are as a person. Yeah. He's not a bad kid. He just been misled, and sometimes he just gets to the wrong crowd. But yeah, those are the only ones that you are inspired by.
Yeah. As far as I know right now.
Okay. What was the inspiration behind your song Mama?
It was Dear Mama.
And what do you hope listeners take away from it?
The song Dear Mama, I wrote that due to the fact it was already I already had started writing it like almost a couple months before I actually put it out. The purpose of that song was to make a public apology for traumatic times with us. I know every time wasn't perfect with her, but we did have good times. Um, we didn't understand each other, so it was hard for us to express ourselves to each other. It was hard for me as a child to listen to you as an adult, and for you as an adult to listen to me as a child regarding my feelings. So I feel like the only way that I could get your attention was make music, right? Do something. But the purpose of Dear Mama was to make a public apology to traumatic experience, disrespect, you know, neglecting myself from you and blaming it on you.
Okay. All right. See, we're trying to keep it without the tissue stuff. So yeah, that part. If you know, you know. Okay, so people to actually be in the same place to understand like the disconnect that we have. And then when we disconnect, people are like, oh, you need to let him go. You know what I'm saying? So any person who's going through with a kid that got so much potential to the point where the devil feel like they gonna grab them, um but they know they can't have them. So I feel like the devil is after me when it comes to our kids. And the reason why I say that is if he can't get to me, he gonna try to get to everything close to me. So he's gonna cause confusion between the family, right? So my thing is with our family, when we all together on one accord, like we are forced to be reckoned with. Can't be touched at all. So that's why it's always confusing. We could really have a real time show that could take place and we could go viral. Okay. You have to be here to believe how discombobulated our family is, but we are so authentic, right? And I think that's what makes us so special. Each person has a different role that they have to play in our family, right? Even though some people have to get a little more attention than others, everybody is loved differently. Okay, they got love, but it's unconditional and it's different, right? So I was a whole open book. Um, Majority of the time, it's not always good, but then again, it's not
It's not always
always
bad.
bad either. So if y'all know who I am or know anything about me, then my kids are really a part of me. Like each one of them plays a different part or relives me. Okay. If you seen all six of them at one time, you wouldn't even think they had a father figure for real. Okay. So we're gonna keep it at that. So like we're just highlighting moments with my son. Want to share his journey, let him get his feet wet with the interviews. um if he gonna get any criticism, he need to first get it from firsthand experience from his mother. um I'm behind him 100%. um so yeah, we I didn't have like a big support system, but I really support my children for real. Okay. So we are now going to talk about the music journey. Um, we already said about the artist and the inspiration behind your music. Let's talk about the little good stuff. Hmm. Let's talk about the mother-son relationship. Okay.
Okay.
What's one of your favorite memories of us?
One of my favorite memories of you and me together is when I first released my song. I know how hard you fought back to cry, and you probably did it when I went around, but just you taking the time out to at least listen to what I did, even though you might not have caught on right then and there, but you took them out to listen. And I can say every moment that you take the time out to listen to me or something that I created or something I did, then that's a good time for me. And you supported my most favorite time was when you supported me when I did my first sermon. That touched me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd do anything to relive that moment.
Man, I was all over the place that day, y'all. That was something different for me because I knew he had the potential to do things that he want to do. What really moved me was a time before that when he helped a young man uh with just a donut that he had, a honey bun that he had, and the young man went viral. Um, he was spoke upon for just a hot second after that baby went viral, and he still held his own. He didn't look for anything out of it or nothing, and he started getting blessed shortly after. Tell us a little bit about this.
When I was walking down the street from my cousin's house, I noticed this young man riding his bike sitting on the corner, and I didn't even want to walk that way towards him. I wasn't even planning on going that way, but sometimes I got bored and I just want to walk, and
Mm,
I didn't know it was for this specific reason. But when I encountered him, I seen the sign. He said he would sing for $1 or two and have a blessed day. So I said, I want to hear him sing. I didn't have no money on me or nothing. And luckily, I had something to give him. When he sung for me, it's like I seen myself because he was on the street asking for stuff. And that was in another reference. That was all that was me doing stuff. I'm a hustler. I do anything, like, but as far as using gift to do what you have to do to get some money, then that's me. I didn't have that support system growing up. He's without a father. I'm without a father. We both doing what we got to do to make money. So just blessing him, I feel like that was a blessing to myself because I outlooked all the negativity and I just surrounded myself with that light from him. I had people talking noise about me giving him a honey bun, a honey bun this, a honey bun that. But look what the honey got him. I
yeah.
still woke up that next day. That was a blessing for me. I seen how many views. I was shocked to see how many views he got. Even after that, I had people coming to me asking me to be a mentor for them and to helping their kids. And that's how I end up starting my Big Brother program. So it all just worked out.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, how would you describe our relationship in just a few words? A few words.
How many is
I'm
few?
just getting just how would you describe our relationship?
I would say our relationship is not up to standard,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not down either. I feel like we right there in the middle because of the simple fact all parents gonna have bad days with their kids. All parents they're not all bad days, but you have some bad days with your kids, and you're gonna have good days with your kids too. So like, even though we argue, we come right back to each other. We family. So yeah, I love you. I watch what you do. I watch what you say, how you interact with people, and I feel like they're becoming a part of me because I just watch you. You're inspiration to me. You show me in your own way what to do and what not to do,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I just fall short of it, and you just help me pick back up. So I say we got a love hate relationship.
And I was just about to say
Yeah.
that it's definitely a love hate. Cause sometimes, yeah, I be forgetting that he my kid. It's been a lot of times where I want to throw in the towel. Um, he was a troubled kid, and it comes from anger. I'm guessing from his father not being present. And I get all the slack from it. I get accused of all the wrong decisions that he made. Um, I could do everything right, but one wrong no, baby. Listen, I catch it for a while. Um, I have to build a mother back up because he know how to break me down. I was once told by a wise young lady, I'm not going to mention her name, that children know how to win you or get over on you from a child, from a baby out of the womb. They know if they cry the right way, you're gonna pick them up.
That's true.
They know if they do another cry, you're gonna give them something to eat. And they grow to learn how to play on your top. And we give them what they want growing up. So now we didn't create a monster, right? And in their old age, when they grow, they know how to play on your top. They if you ask them to do something a million times and you don't end up doing, they don't do it, you're gonna do it anyway. If they ask you a whole lot of times, could you have something? Could they have something? And they keep asking, you gonna give it to them anyway. They also know to ask you when you're doing something. So they was like, I asked because you was talking. And you said, but you don't know what you said for.
Or when you sleep.
Or when you sleep. Okay. So it's our fault that we created these monsters to treat us in this way. Right. But sometimes you want to dig way down deep in there and knock the you out of them. You see what I'm saying? You can't knock the you out of them because they are a product of you. Okay. So, what was your initial reaction when you decided to write a song dedicated to me? And how did you feel about it when it was done?
I'll say, are you asking what happened? Or why did I write it?
No, I'm asking what was your initial reaction when you just like, look, I think this is the only way I'm gonna get across to my mama if I write a song, because I can't put it in the words, and we can't sit in the same room and have a conversation without having differences and talking. So I'm gonna write this song. What was your initial reaction when you put the pen to the paper?
You ain't got no choice but to listen to it. You can't interrupt the song unless you pause it.
Okay. That was your initial reaction. Okay.
Yeah.
But so how did you feel about the finished product of the song?
The finished product, I felt relief. It took me a while to that song. Like it's so much, I feel like it's so much more that I could have said in the song. But then when it come down to it, it's like I still said the same thing, just in different ways. So when I got done with that song, I felt as if maybe I'm just gonna play it over and over and over again, so she won't forget it. It'll stick in her head. And the that I put on that song as well, it was a memory when we went to Ground Zero and we performed. That's why I put that picture on there.
Okay, what was that moment like for you at Ground Zero?
It was.
Yeah, we did a live. I'll tell them about the live band. This show interview. Tell us about the interactions you had, the encounter that we had, and the fondest moment during that time of that show.
The interactions, I love them interactions. Like people from all over the world came out and they supported you. And they supported me. I didn't expect to sing on there, but Red let me sing. I stopped singing and was talking to the people, told them to come up front with their loved ones and dance, tell their loved ones, tell each other that they love them. And when I was done, the applause that I got, I ain't ever experienced it. Especially people from Italy, London, all them different countries. No, that's not an everyday thing for me. So it shocked me. And the most proudest moment, the happiest moment I could say that happened tonight was the dance.
I was about to say, I think that touched me like so much because you started dancing. I can't dance for real, okay? So he was teaching me the steps. He pulled me out and we started dancing. And the part where the song like dance with my father, that kind of moment, I felt that moment and it was a very emotional moment. And by them looking at us dance, made them dance. You know what I'm saying? And for people to see the love that was there, they would have thought that me and my son had the best relationship. Well, they did think that, right? The ladies and young men would come up and like, I just love that relationship you and your son have. And we had to be honest and tell them it took a lot to get there. It's not, and I'm glad that we portrayed the love in public. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like a disconnect in public,
Right.
right? So you don't have to bring the weight that you're carrying on your shoulders around. You know what I'm saying? Just like a picture can say 1,000 words, a book can too.
Right.
And your facial expressions show a lot. But at that moment, we were enjoying our time together, mother and I do that to one of y'all differently. You know what I'm saying? So because it's so many of y'all, I have to spread that time among 6 kids. And then when I wasn't in a relationship, I had to, I had to make time. It's only 24 hours in a day for crying out, right? So I have to treat everybody differently, but I don't try to do more for the other one than I only do for what's needed, at the
Right.
time. You know what I'm saying? Um, and y'all know throughout the years, I've raised a whole lot of people's children. I was almost a community mom. You know what I'm
Might as
saying?
well say.
So I had to share all with other people. You know what I'm saying? But I got that part from my grandma. My grandma fed the neighborhood. And them kids, and I was living in the projects, right? Those kids knew what about me every month.
You a cook.
They know my food stamp day. They come out in the truck. They knew I was gonna cook for them at a certain time. I was the candy lady. I did hair. I did all these things to provide as a single mother to my kids. They have seen some hardship. They have seen some breaking points. They have seen some moments, growing up. So for them to be of age now, they kind of understand, all the things that I've went through, a whole lot of things that I've sacrificed for their well being. Okay. Um, let's talk about the mental health and personal growth. We forget real, right? We gonna
Okay.
get real for a moment. How do you deal with life's pressures and mental health challenges?
It's not easy.
Like, tell them what they say you were diagnosed with, and then tell me how you deal with that.
They said I was diagnosed with bipolar depression, and I deal with that by somebody. If I'm bipolar, I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm gonna let you feel that bipolar. Like I'm gonna be mean and I'm gonna be nice. Most of the time, it's just because I want to. It's because I want something, and if I don't get it, I'm gonna go off. And with depression, I deal with depression slightly different. When I don't be here, yeah, most people say that I'm outside, shooting, robbing. I be at the river walk. I be praying to myself. I be praying, asking God. I be like, why me? Why I got to go through this? Why everybody say this and I'm that and the third? They not seeing me for me. They seeing what they hearing from people. And I know I'm not a gold egg. I'm not all that. I'm Javari. I've been in streets. I ain't been in no game, but I've been robbing. I've been shooting. But that's not me. I did that to feel like I had to fit in. I ain't have no friends. I ain't have people that I can talk to. But with me not having it, it turned me to the streets. It turned me to those people that was doing this type of stuff. They made me feel more love than most family did, if we being real. So when people were saying like, "Hey, you ain't gonna ever change. You gonna be a dropout." Yeah, I dropped out. So what? All these rich folks, they ain't stay in school. All these famous artists, they ain't stay in school. Most of them dropped out at a young age, before high school. I did my research upon it. I'm a young black male. There are 3 strikes against me already. They already labeled me as a statistic. But it's up to me to change that. It's up to me to, you know, not socialize with that kind of energy. You know, I still deal with people from that. I still talk to them, but I don't have to, put myself in a situation where that's where I'm gonna stay. With ADHD, that I got ADHD. I can't sit still. So I work. I work the yard, mow a yard. Wash cars. I do it just to keep me sane. Because if I'm in one place for a long time, it's like I get destructive fast. You know, then came time people said I was mental. I was crazy. I'm psychiatric hospitals. I've been there. Colored. I had the doctor. It's no biggie. But while I was in there, the last time I was sent off, it was Canopy, Jackson. Last time I was in Canopy, my doctor had told me, she said, I've been watching you on Facebook. I know you from outside of here. She noticed you. She know you. Rita, Miss Rita Chan. She told me, she said, I can be everything under the sun. I can be anything I want to be. And then she took initiatives to help me see that myself. It's a difference between telling me I do something and then showing me I can do it. I'm not like these other folks. I learn different. I'm a hands-on learner. You can't just give me a book and expect me to open and know what it is. You gotta show me, and this is how I deal with life. Everything's not gonna be a handout. Yeah, I know that. Things not gonna come on a silver plate. I know that. So it's up to me to go out and get it. It's up to me the right way. It's up to me to know what's wrong, what's right, how to open up. It's hard for me to open up, true. I ain't got nobody I can talk to. So what I do, I write, I ball the paper up, and I burn it. That's how I deal with depression this day.
I know it's a lot of children who can't talk to their parents, but I hope it's a place or a person that they're able to let out their feelings and emotions. Because you just never know what the youth are going through most time. We're down to what advice would you give to other teens who might be struggling with similar issues?
The best piece of advice I can give to people is encourage yourself, because everybody's not gonna do it for you. Listen, observe. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Everything's not gonna go your way. And for the people that's dealing with single parents, help out to the best of your ability. Parents don't come with instructions. Like,
well, I heard somebody say that.
You?
Oh, okay. All right. How can music and creativity help in coping and expressing emotions?
This so hard for ride wave come in. If you listen to ride wave music, people say he's depressed, he's sad. But to me, when I listen to his music, he's talking about everything that I've been through, everything I feel, and he, in a different way than other people expect it, he's showing me how to get over it. Music can help cope with a lot. You can't clean up, listen to music. It helps you move. You can't focus, listen to music. It help, make your mind go. Like you thinking you acting now. You ain't sitting down. You actually using your mouth to speak. And when you speak, you speaking and you letting stuff out for you. it's a coping mechanism for me. I don't know how, but it works.
Okay. All right. This is nice. So, without further ado, we are going to play the song that is the topic of discussion. Okay. But before we do that, I need you to give me a drop. And in the drop, I need you to mention that you are running with unique experience. You can shout it out how you want to. And then we're going to introduce your track. But yeah, I need you to give me that good old drop. You rocking with your mama. You know, you can say however you want to. It don't matter.
I got you.
All right, whenever you're ready.
What's up, y'all? I'm rocking with Miss Unique. My mama with broken crayon still color. Tune in.
Run that back.
I
Run
need
that
to.
back.
I felt it.
Run that back. Yes, run that back.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Varri rocking with Miss Unique with broken young. Oh Lord.
Run it back one more time.
Okay, the
The
third time
unique experience.
Yeah, that's what I was missing. All right, third time tune. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Lil Varri rocking with Unique Experience with Miss Unique with Broken Young. Oh, Jesus. Oh,
I mean, look, this is unfiltered. We're going to get this right.
Yeah, this is unfiltered, all right. What's up, y'all? This your boy Lil Varri rocking with the Unique Experience podcast with your host, Miss Unique with Broken Crayon Still Color. Tune in.
That was great. Now let's introduce your track. This Lil Varri, what's your track?
This Lil Varri, y'all finna hear my song, Dear Mama.
If I can share this screen here. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the first one.
Yeah, LeVar. I did for you, mama. Dear mama, I'm so sorry for the times I broke your heart. I told myself I could never forgive me for creating all these scars. If I could go back in the past and take it back, I would regardless. Take a rocket sign.
So
Yeah, LeVar. I did for you, mama. Dear mama, I'm so sorry for the times I broke your heart. I told myself I'd never forgive me for creating all these scars. If I could go back in the past and take it back, I would regardless. It don't take a rocket scientist to know you worked so hard. You almost gave up on your kids, but you stood mighty strong. You gave us all you had and you did it on your own. I can say I'm proud of you for trying to make a house a home. But if you leave before I do, I promise memories live on. To the presence, from the struggles to the blessings. I say life was never pleasant, so we look beyond the heavens. I believe that Jesus kept us. God just knew that we would step. If it ever come down to it, just know we gonna stick together. Hey, family all we got, family all we need. It's hard to say that when you always been deceived. Never tell your plans to people that's not even on your team, cause they don't wanna see you win, they wanna see you on your knees. Climbing mountains out the mountains, and you know we never stop. And just like Jesus talked to Peter, the church on the rock, said the gates of hell should not prevail against it, so it's not. People hearts are cold, back and check was really what it's not. Hey, let me tell you about a story that I never thought I'd stick on. How you think it feel when I heard my mama got beat on? Not by a minute, on the street you were my father. Didn't want to end up like I work harder. Teachers always told me I would never be nothing, cause some kids get to school out on my big stuff. But what they didn't know was that I'm a big star. Looking back at them now, I'm laughing real hard. Mama, you know how this goes. When we argue and start fighting again, the nights we feel alone. I want to paint the picture of daylight, then I'm going to frame it, put it on the wall so that we can see that they're all sound like looking back on this if we be strong. Don't give up, don't you ever give in. No, it's hard when you raise these kids. You the queen with that crown, show the top. Just trust in God, then you always gonna win. See everything we ever been through is a testimony. We can keep it to ourselves or tell the world about it. There is power in the tongue, yeah, that's for sure. That's why we always speak prophetic, never let them fall. Man, it's crazy how I always knew that we the ones that chose and kept our heads up. Even in the day that we were told, man, I'm so fed up. Now I'm letting everybody know, but this the wrong damn time for you people to be letting go. It take away my body muscles, so probably need to do the smile. Why waste that energy on people that always put you down? So when you got that light on you, demons don't like taking around. I had to learn the hard way. I walk these what I'm talking about. The moral of the story, mama, you know you the go. All you gotta do is keep your head up and don't lose hope. Believe that Jesus died for us, that's why we do his goal. Now sing this song just like an echo, see you down the road.
Yeah, mama, I'm so sorry for the times I broke your heart. I told myself I never forgive me for creating all these scars. If I could go back in the past and take it back, I would regardless. It don't take a rocket scientist to know you worked so hard. You almost gave up on your kids, but you stood mighty strong. You gave us all you had, then you did it on your own. I can say you trying to make a house a home, but if you leave before I do, I promise memories live on.
Okay. Okay, Varri. Okay, little Varri. All right. Um, huh. That was y'all. That was good. That was incredible. How does it feel to share your song with everyone?
It feels immaculate. Like I'm proud. I'm proud of myself for real, for real. You know, it's a good start to get my name out. It's a good start to encourage everybody to speak positive. It's a lot of negative music out here, but just one positive music can reach out to millions of people, and it can change the aspect of the way people think.
Okay. Um, what's next for you in your music industry?
But next for me in my music industry, coming out with this company Murder Flow, uh, with me and a lot of artists, young artists, uh, just telling the story, getting together, you know, advertising our talent together.
Okay, good networking. Okay. Um, I just want to y'all. I want to thank my son. Thank you for coming on here. Um, being a supporter of me. Whether you want to or not, because I asked you to do so, but because I'm not really good with like a lot of the computer stuff, and I'm learning. And I just want to thank you for trusting me and listening to what I say. If you, even if I don't think you paying attention, I know you listening. You know what I'm
Always.
saying? Because you always run it back on me. You throw it back in my face. Like you'll repeat something that I've said or say something that I've done. Um, during the moments where I thought you wasn't paying attention, right? I'm working on trying to use my two ears and one mouth to listen more and be more concerned about what's going on, the thought processes and stuff like that of the youth. Because yeah, grown people got problems, but you got problems. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I want to acknowledge that. Um, I appreciate you for coming on and sharing your story. Um, are there any last words of wisdom, any shout outs, any thoughts before we wrap it up?
I got a shout out. Shout out to Mysterious DJ and the Lions Den for being the first people to ever put my music on the radio station. A huge support. You know, I came to the Junkie Karaoke and she turned me up. That's all I say. I got old soul and she just felt it. She felt it and I felt her. I mean, it was good. So shout out to Mysterious DJ. I continue doing what you're doing. Continue help. Continue support. And I promise you, you'll make it over the mountains, through the valleys. Point blank.
Every time. Okay. Before
Hold on. And I also want to give a shout out to you as well for your book. Real Talk, it's a journal, she talking about her story. Y'all tune in for this because this ain't the last one. So I'm proud of you for this. And to be real, I was the first person to ever touch these. Just saying.
Yeah, you guys, I appreciate him for mentioning that. My book is out on Amazon. It's called Real Talk Life Lessons with Reflections. It's an interactive journal. It's just a book that tells you about life lessons and self-worth, real life situations, and give you reflection prompts to be able to share your story in the journal. It's very nice. Like I said, you can purchase it for $14.99 on Amazon. I will put the link, set the link up on YouTube, Facebook, all social media outlets. Go grab your copy and you'll be glad that you did.
Won't be disappointed.
I want to thank you all so much for tuning in to this special episode of the Unique Experience Podcast, the place where broken crayons still color. Okay, and remember, no matter what challenges you face, your voice matters and your story deserves to be heard. Don't let your broken pieces hold you back. Matter of fact, let's color outside the lines together. Okay. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Unique Experience Podcast. Your support helps us continue to bring you more inspiring stories, amazing music, and incredible artist spotlights. Until next time, stay creative and stay strong. The Unique Experience is definitely making a difference, and it's only one story at a time. And don't forget, again, to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, we out of here.
Peace.
You are now tapped in with your girl, Miss Unique, on the Unique Experience Podcast, the place where broken crayons still color.